Whatever the Prophet gave us in his own words, do you trust
That'll
it?
be relevant and known to them who he was around.
Hang on. Listen to me carefully. Just like today, you have no problem in trusting the human speech of those who are placed in authority amongst you, if their teaching, their words, their speech is in line with the Quran. I'm asking you now, go one step further. The Prophet ﷺ also spoke his own words, human speech, right? Human speech. If that is in line with the Quran, would you trust it?
Those who would have heard his speech would have obviously followed what he was telling them, as he was the messenger of God.
Do you follow and obey the Prophet in his own words?
Of the Quran, yes, because that was what was
I'm not
given
talking
to
about the Quran.
So what are you speaking about? His own personal words?
Is it not clear so far?
Yeah, it's very
is
clear.
it difficult?
It's very clear, but I don't believe that his exact words have been recorded by anybody.
Okay, what made you think that?
Well, because revelation comes from God, number one, which is for our salvation. Anything that he would have said to his people contextually, wherever it was, pick this up, put that here, move this, give me this, take that, would have been for them there. That's not a salvation issue for today. Now you're conflating what people may have heard him say
that's the only thing he did.
Contextually to what we have to follow today.
So,
Right.
Varint, what's your name? What's your name? Elijah. So the Prophet only said, pick this, pick that, do this and do that. He never talked about Islamic teaching. He didn't tell them, for example, you know what? This is what I will tell you about how to be good. Okay? In line with the Quranic teaching. If you're good, khayrukum, the one which better you, khayrukum min ahli, for example. Aw kama qala alayhi salatu wasalam. The best of you are the best who are best with your wives, for example. So you say, the Prophet never taught anything like that. Only thing he did is, pick this up, take this there.
No.
Okay, good. So the things that he explained Islamically, do you obey the Prophet in those words?
What he would have explained there and then would have been relevant for what they would have been hearing and what they would have been around.
I'm talking about the ones that are relevant today and in the future.
The only way I can follow someone who's no longer with us is by following the preserved, clear message that he was given to give to mankind.
Which is the Sunnah.
No, the Quran. The Quran only speaks of Sunnah Allah. In the Quran, there is no Sunnah Nabi.
Well, you don't speak
or Sunnah
Arabic,
Rasul.
so don't talk about it.
Are you telling me that there is a Sunnah Nabi or Sunnah Rasul in the Quran? Every mention of Sunnah in the Quran is only Sunnah Allah.
Elijah.
The Sunnah of Allah is found in the Quran.
Elijah.
Which is what is for mankind.
Elijah.
His personal talkings to the people around him, what they would have asked him of I guess, what this means or what that means, would have been for them then. Now, he never brought a second corpus.
Was he only a prophet for them?
One second, no, for all mankind.
Okay.
Because he was...
Listen to that.
within the Quranic
He's not
corpus-
only prophet for them.
Yes.
Is he a prophet also for us
He was
today?
a man, you're conflating...
Wait. Was he also a prophet for us?
Of course.
Right. Give me some teachings that I can obey the Prophet in his own words. He taught about Islamic manners, for example.
Outside of the Quran or inside of the Quran?
Are you someone who's hard of hearing?
No, you don't need to be
Okay, hear me out.
Because I said,
Wait,
I already said
Elijah,
everything.
let me finish.
Listen, no, let me finish. Everything that he said that would have been for direct sharing of the people around him that was relevant, that we are to take today, was found in Quran.
So here's the problem. This is a very, very, as you can see, very childish understanding of the Quran.
Your interpretation.
Let me help you out. The Prophet ﷺ is a prophet not only for the people at his time. So he taught things about manners, about etiquettes, not only to correct his people, but also that can be applied to us, to the people in the future, until the world comes to an end. So I am asking you, give me one teaching of the Prophet ﷺ out of his 23 years of prophethood, in his own words, that I can obey him in those words. One only.
Listen, what I'd say is that my personal belief is that there is no authentic statement outside of the Quran that can be attributed to the Prophet Muhammad with certainty. So, how I take guidance from him as a messenger is what is found and relayed in the message itself. I don't look outside of the message. Now, if you say you have quotes directly from him, that's not a part of revelation, and that's not a part of revelation. Outside of the Quran.
I see where your problem is. You
It's not
see,
a problem for me. It's not a problem for me. Because I receive much guidance from the
okay,
Quran.
okay, one second.
And without having to trust the people outside.
Elijah, it is a fact of reality, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. There are attributable statements of the Prophet ﷺ transmitted to us today. Now, the question is, are they all fabricated? All of them wholesale? Or at least there's one statement, it's authentic.
Maybe.
And when, I'm not finished yet, out of hundreds and thousands of statements from the Prophet ﷺ transmitted by his close companions to their students and to their students and all the way back to us now, at least there would be one statement of the Prophet ﷺ in his own words that we can authenticate. The question is, how do we authenticate it?
Possibly there are some that are true. Possibly there are some that are
How
false.
do we authenticate it?
Well, you asked me, there are two questions in that question. So, possibly yes, you said, are they all fake or are they some real, some real? Well, it says, some may be true, some may be not. But I won't stake my salvation, my eternal salvation on them.
You have no salvation. I'm asking you simply answer this question. How do you authenticate?
From the Quran.
You don't believe in the Quran?
Well, I do believe in the Quran.
Okay. Do you accept all the qira'ahs from Allah?
Going in the circle again.
No, because I'm claiming you don't believe in the Quran.
No. If all the qira'ahs are not in contradiction with each other, if they retain the core message of the Quran, I don't see that it's going to be a limitation for somebody receiving guidance and then salvation.
Listen.
Let's say somebody pronounces it one way or another way, it's not a salvation issue.
Did the Prophet do it like that?
I don't know. Like I said,
you don't know.
asked me that.
So how do you know which one's the Quran or not?
Yeah, but like I said,
if you don't know, Elijah, if you don't know the Prophet recited as khatim or khatam, how do you know which one's the Quran? How do you know which one's the Quran?
Well, what I've got in my possession, if I read it and receive guidance from there,
in your position. What do you mean in your position?
Wait, on trust.
Let's say I give you all of them. I give you all the 10 qira'at. Now, did the Prophet recite in all these 10 qira'at?
Well, they don't contradict each other, there's not a problem. If I choose one
it's not a problem or not. Are you 100% certain and confident that this is Quran, the qira'ah of the Prophet? This is qira'ah of the Prophet. This is qira'ah of the Prophet.
I don't access
or
it
do
in
you,
Arabic.
or do you have
I
doubts?
understand.
Do you have doubts?
No doubts in the Quran, none whatsoever.
So you accept transmission by people. You trust their transmission.
I trust what God has brought in my possession of the Quran. There's no problem with
You trust God is capable of preserving the Quran, but incapable of preserving the Sunnah.
Well,
that's the gist of it.
Who's Sunnah? Sunnah Allah or Sunnah Rasul or something else? Who's Sunnah? When you said the Sunnah, who exactly do you mean when you say Sunnah? Because the Quran speaks of Sunnah.
Do you know what I mean by Sunnah?
Tell me. Quranically or your opinion?
No, guess what I mean by Sunnah.
No, you tell me. I won't guess. You tell me.
I'll tell you. His teachings.
Whose teachings?
The Prophets.
Okay. And does the Quran say that there is a body of teachings of the Quran outside of the Quran?
Of the Prophet, yes.
Well, that's what
the Quran says. Wait.
Tell me where.
Oh, are you saying the teaching of the Prophet is not for salvation?
No, I said specifically
okay.
that there is a body.
Was the Prophet appointed to be a teacher?
Called the Sunnah of Rasul.
I'm not using the word Sunnah, I'm using the word teaching. Do you not get it anymore?
Okay, I get it.
Teaching. Did the Quran say that the Prophet was appointed to explain the Quran? Tibyanan? To explain it?
Yeah, to those he was around, he would explain it to.
To explain it?
Yes, to those he was around.
No.
He would explain it to you.
Not to those who were around.
What do you want to
explain it for all people in posterity, for people, for believers.
No, only God will teach the Quran, and the guidance is from you.
So you believe God only taught the Prophet ﷺ to only teach his people that only. So he was not the Prophet for whole mankind.
No, what endured beyond his life was the Quran, and what is found in the Quran of the wisdom, the remembrance, etc., etc. Now, I don't at all subscribe to this notion that he was given a whole other body of literature which is going to be co-dependent with the Quran for guidance to salvation.
So now we have attributed statements of the Prophet which you said some may be true, some may be not true. How do we authenticate them?
Man cannot authenticate. Man cannot authenticate. Revelation from God.
You cannot authenticate, that's your problem.
Revelation comes from God through an angel.
How do you authenticate the Quran?
Messenger. 1 second. Revelation comes from, this is the methodology of revelation to mankind comes from God to angel to messenger. Now, it's not upon any human like you or I or non-messenger to then say years later, we authenticate this. No one has that authority from God, number one. No one has authority from the messenger, number two. So that is why that is not authenticatable.
Do you think the way you follow the teaching of the Quran is how the Prophet's companions followed it?
I don't know.
Is it important to know?
I don't know.
Is it important to know?
Well,
You
my,
think
my life test
Elijah,
is how I engage with the Quran
Elijah,
in the place that I've
the
received.
Quran came to a community of people who spoke the Arabic language, which you don't. Good. You're in a mess already. Those people, the community who understood the language of the Quran, they applied the Quran in their lives. Did they apply the Quranic teaching the way that you do today?
Well, they can't because I'm living here now.
No, the way they
I don't
paid
have camels.
zakah. Wait,
I don't have deserts.
wait.
Now, how
the
I
way
engage
they
with the Quran
prayed,
is going to be relevant to me.
way they prayed, and the way they gave charity, and the way they prayed Salatul Jum'ah.
No, I don't. For me, the Quran does not have a ritual prayer, a fixed motion.
That's not my question.
Well, then, I'm asking obviously no.
What is my
It's gonna be
question?
No, isn't it?
So basically,
No.
obviously,
I don't perform the rituals that they claim to practice. What's going to be no?
you're not thinking.
No.
I am asking you. I'm asking you. No, Elijah.
I'm thinking
The companions, because we should be Quran only, they should follow exactly the way you understand it. Their understanding shouldn't be any different, because otherwise it will be contradiction. If you understand what God says, I am one, and it means three in one, it will be a mess. So if you understand Quran only the way you think it is understood, the companions, according to your understanding, they should also understand the same way, Quran only. So they should have understood what Salah meant, what Zakah meant, what Salatul Jum'ah meant. There should be a synchronity. Like there should be same understanding.
Okay.
Right. Did they understand the way you understand it?
Well, obviously no.
Game over.
Okay.
May God guide you.
Thank you. Have a good day, mate.
May God guide you.